Globally, we consume over 150 million tons of seafood annually. In South Africa, Johannesburg has the largest demand on this natural resource, even though they have no coast of their own.
Standing at Orlando Towers in Soweto, which marks the beginning of this epic journey from Soweto to Sodwana in partnership with WWF SASSI and Explore4Knowledge. And this is the start of a journey that's been envisioned for the last 2 years to address the much needed crisis, if I can call it that, around the sustainable seafood industry in South Africa.
To actually get young up-and-coming chefs in Johannesburg involved in sustainable seafood and for them to explore where their seafood comes from.
We'll go into some locations along the east coast of South Africa. We'll be getting into the water, we'll be getting on the water, and we'll be exploring that beautiful world beneath the surface.
I've been in the seafood industry for more than 10 years. Then this opportunity is going to help me in terms of growing and bring awareness on health seafood in my restaurant.
Been in the culinary industry for almost 5 years, and I think my signature dish will be chicken and prawn curry with prawns and lots of prawns. Okay, this opportunity, I think I'm going to learn a lot from it. Take that back into the kitchen, teach them how to use sustainable seafood and stuff like that.
And we had a long chat with the chefs. The chefs saying, "Oh, I love prawns and I love sushi and I love serving Alaskan and Scottish salmon, you know." And these are species they need to know are sitting on an orange list and some of them sitting on a red list. Just to get them so seriously embedded in the idea around sustainability so that they're conscious, it's top of mind when they make a dish, when they serve a dish, that they themselves feel good about the fact that we're saving the ocean by serving a dish properly.
In the town of Piet Retief at the moment, and our expedition team is en route to a secret location along the coastline of South Africa. The Nissan Navaros are packed, they're ready to go. Get in the vehicles with us, let's head off and see where we end up.
Passing the Limbombo Mountains that stretch along the Swaziland border, our convoy makes their way 400 kilometers down to Cozy Bay for an afternoon of discovery. Cozy Bay is the northernmost estuary along the South African coastline. This method of subsistence fishing has been used for almost 800 years. The traps actually host life as they form a micro-ecosystem and hatchery of fish.
What's more spectacular about this area is the fact that it's one of the oldest fishing grounds in South Africa.
We went for a closer look. Being made from natural resources, the traps need to be rebuilt every 6 months due to degradation. Degradation of plant matter also adds nutrients to the ecosystem. It is time to head back to the camp to set up the tents and reflect on the day.
Today was amazing, let me just put it that way, because I was scared of water, but I finally managed to get into water.
I'm a fan of swimming, understand? So me and water were friends. So actually I was enjoying each and every moment, and something that I've been done it before, just to go under the water, which is something that I was very impressed about it. Like seeing the fish, see different of fish, understand? So yeah, sort of like playing under the water is something that I haven't experienced it. If ever the opportunity like this, maybe we can come again and just play with the fish, understand? So that's definitely awesome to me.
It's another early wake up for everyone as we head down the coast for the next stretch of our adventure.
Good morning guys, our expedition team and our Nissan Navaros are on the road again. We've left Cozy Bay and we're on our way to Sodwana Bay. Today is the shortest day of travel for us, but possibly the most exciting. We're going to be meeting up with a team from Triton Dive Center who will be hosting us not only at the beach and at their lodge, but on the water as well. We're looking forward to getting into the water, snorkeling, and just exploring the absolute magic and beauty of the coastline.
One of the very significant facts about this area is that it is a marine protected area. It has over 14 coral reefs, which have been around estimated for about 4,000 years. So all these ecosystems work in harmony. And so what we need to understand is that coral reefs play a very vital role in sustaining the ocean's health.
Very rare for us chefs to to get that opportunity to go actually inside the sea and have a look on the fish when they're alive, actually how did the environment of living in the sea, understand? So that was quite exciting for me.
After enjoying the beauty of these reserves, it's now time to enjoy their fruit.
We saw some amazing things off Sodwana Bay today. We were snorkeling out in the waters. The ocean life there is vibrant and rich and alive. The reality is, though, that the oceans in general are under pressure. And that's why it's really important, whether you're throwing some fish over the coals, you're looking to quickly fry something up in a pan, bake something delicious, make sure you choose off the SASSI Green List. That way, you know that you're actually supporting a fishery that's acting responsibly, being as sustainable as what they can, and you're ensuring the health of oceans. And what's going to be happening a little bit later tonight is a sustainable seafood braai.
Frying my hake today, and I'll be serving it with shallow fried tomatoes, potato crisps, and a bit of mussel sauce.
Now I'll cook rooibos smoked hagfish with sort of like a Joburg style green salad as well, combination of roasted and onion potatoes.
The possibility of sustainable green-listed fish dishes becomes a reality as photo-worthy dishes emerge from a campfire-side kitchen. Our journey of discovery has taken us from the heart of Johannesburg to reconnecting with traditional fishing methods and diving in the oceans. Now our convoy takes us to an area of critical importance, a mangrove swamp.
We're basically standing in one of the last pristine pockets of a mangrove swamp. But besides being really fascinating with the crabs and everything, mangroves are incredibly important for sustainability of fish species, and Chris is going to explain a bit more about that.
Half, if not more, of all mangroves globally have been wiped out already. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is shrimp farms or prawn farms. They would be ideally situated in areas where mangroves are. They're close to a water, you know, the tide comes up evenly, it's not a volatile coastline. So what happens quite often is they would cut this out to put a prawn farm in here, right? Then there's agriculture, so if it's not prawn farming, it's something else. And then like John mentioned, there's development as well. And that's led to them being recognized as critically important, and we're trying to save that which we have left.
From pristine coastlines to Durban City, our journey of discovery is never ending. Tonight, our team and the chefs prepare to meet industry leaders in culinary sustainability at the 9th Avenue Bistro in Durban. Here we will meet with SPAR South Africa, learning firsthand about their commitment to sustainability and their recently announced campaign against plastics. We got to share a meal with influential trailblazer chefs, ambassadors for change, who have set the bar when it comes to transforming the South African seafood industry.
Obviously, besides what looks like is going to be a phenomenal meal, there is another reason why we invited all of you here tonight. A lot of questions come to SASSI around, you know, what do retailers do? What should they be doing? How do they tackle sustainability? What does it mean to the seafood they buy and sell? And so to young chefs who are working their way up the ranks like these two, we thought it would be really useful to connect them to people who are sort of at the coalface of driving sustainability in a big retailer like SPAR. So, and then that's one aspect. And then the other one is, you know, what are the inspirational chefs that have been around, that have worked with SASSI for a while?
I think for the two chefs that we have spent this evening with, this trip has, for lack of other words, but changed their lives. And I've just been speaking to them and I said to them, you know, it comes down to you now getting back into your kitchens and actually making the difference.
It's not about narrowing your menus or what you're able to do in the kitchen at all. It's really about exploring what you're able to do, what is available.
It's not that easy here because people come here for fish and they often get upset when you don't have it. You know, if you're known for lovely fresh fish off the grill, you just have to be able to explain to people that sorry, there's nothing around at the moment. When there is, we'll have it.
The Ashaka Marine World is home to the 5th largest aquarium in the world. This morning, the chefs look at marine life from a new angle.
loggerhead turtles that nest on our beaches have very strong jaws and big heads, and they would use this to feed on crabs, mollusks and shrimps, and so they have jaws that can crush and grind these animals. And then of course one of the biggest threats at the moment is plastic pollution. Plastic bags, for example, look very similar to jellyfish, which a lot of turtles eat, and then they end up swallowing them, results in a blocked gut, and then they can't eat, and results in them dying.
We need to understand that with every piece of litter that we throw in the bin, is it recyclable? Is it really necessary to throw it in the bin? Can you reuse it at home, or can you actually take it to a different plant? So the reason why you need to think of these things is eventually they all end up in the ocean. And if we want to see a thriving ecosystem, which then speaks directly to a thriving human population, you must be cognizant of the fact that, do you really need to use a plastic straw? Do you really need to use single-use plastic bags? These are some of the little things that you can think about in order to help contribute to thriving ecosystems in the smallest of ways, but actually make a world of difference.
Though seeing is believing, Prisha of Ashaka Marine World opened our eyes to the importance of conservation.
The Nissan seahorse is endemic and unfortunately is the most endangered species of seahorse in the world. Obviously pollution being the main threat.
While being blown away by the beauty of the exhibits, we soon learned that the only places along our coast with such diversity exist within marine protected areas, MPAs.
We have some scientists doing research on MPAs, and we're seeing that by having MPAs, we're actually protecting areas outside of MPAs. Because the fish in MPAs are spawning, they're breeding, and then the juveniles are seeding the areas outside. So if we're actually having protected areas, it means the areas around there are starting to become more abundant in these fish species. So, I mean, I think that alone is the biggest justification to have MPAs, because they result in more fish. It was lovely having you guys with us today. I hope you had a fantastic time in the park and learned a lot, getting up close with these amazing animals. And remember that a fish is not just a fish or a piece of meat on a plate.
Of course.
And thanks to WWF SASSI and to Explore4Knowledge. It's been a lovely day with you.
After spending a day learning from experts around marine education, we are en route to Ocean Basket Ballito. Ocean Basket is one of South Africa's seafood giants, and we learnt about their commitment to serving sustainably sourced green-listed seafood. They see how important it is to treasure the oceans of our future. A perfect way to end a week of discovery, learning and networking, surrounded by the very craft that binds this journey together.
After this journey, the chefs have committed to become SASSI ambassadors. So they have now the champion power to take this knowledge that they've learned and the experiences that they've gained to actually go back into the industry, to start chatting to their staff, chatting to the managers, and having these conversations will enable things to start changing. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not an overnight process, we know this, and we just expect that the conversation is going to happen.
Feeling a weight on top of my shoulder to go back and try to implement that sustainable seafood, what that means. Actually something that won't maybe happen or change over the night, but actual way forward, what's the plan actually to try to make sure that whatever the seafood that we're putting on the plate actually is on the green line.
I still love prawns, but then learning about how they are farmed changed my mind a bit. Slowly but surely, maybe I would just let go of them and rather find an alternative to eat. You know, when we work in the restaurants, you just cook whatever you are supposed to cook, what they tell you to cook. But now that I've got knowledge on what kind of species are endangered, I think I might have to talk to my chefs about it and not using it on the menu anymore. And with the right channels and the right guidance, I think we can be able to use sustainable seafood, but it's going to take time.
And Soweto to Sodwana is finally over, but it marks the beginning of the journey for the chefs, taking the message of sustainability home with them, putting it in their kitchens and educating not only the chefs who work with them, but their friends and family as well, to inspire, to change opinion, and to take a story back. I would say we've achieved what we set out to do.